Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the third day of June, 2022. It is Friday of the seventh week, the seventh and last week of the Easter season. Coming to a quick close to the Easter season. Sunday is Pentecost, which will be the 50th day. This is the 48th day of Easter. Although the Easter season will conclude this weekend, the impact, the effect, the ongoing echoes of the Easter season are with us throughout every day of the year. We do not forget Easter happened. We do not move back into lamentations and mourning. We recognize that everything that we are and all that we do has been shaped and will continue to be shaped by the fact that Christ has broken the chains of bonds and the chains and bonds of sin and death, and has recreated the world for us to embrace and to live in. Today is also the memorial, our last memorial in the Easter season of Charles Lwanga and companions, one of the African martyrs, not the first of the African martyrs. There probably were other African martyrs in the ancient church. We still have their names, but in recent history, he is one of the African martyrs. He and his companions martyred for the faith in Uganda, I believe. I am coming to you from the parking lot in front of St. Francis, Francis Hall, really. It's our community center, gymnasium, other things. This is Pumpkin Fury, that belongs to our director of the center, Ashley. And in the back over there, you see the chapel. People are arriving for morning mass as I speak. As we draw to the close of the Easter season, again, the consternations that Paul has brought about in Jerusalem because of his preaching. And it's always what is so interesting about all of this is that no one knows what to convict him of exactly. They just don't like what he has to say. And this becomes a big problem because what do? You say that he's a criminal, you say that he has done, that he's a rabble rouser, that he is undoing things, and yet you have really nothing to prove. And so it goes to civil authorities, it goes to King Agrippa and his wife Bernice, who come to Caesarea. He doesn't know what to do with him and with Paul, and so Paul becomes now bound for Rome to basically plead his case against with Caesar, just so that he can go free and do what he wants to do, which is proclaim. This is kind of where this reading ends. Again, this whole understanding that nobody knows what to do with Christianity, who doesn't want to accept it, who fears it, who constantly tries to fight against it. Yes, it becomes something that you don't know what to do with, that you think is wrong, but yet you are unable, to prove what is wrong about it. And that is something for us always to remember. It's like what becomes a problem is when we distort Christianity. Then there are many things to point out that is wrong with it. But the message as it is, that is revealed in the Gospels, that is revealed through the mouth of Christ, is truth, and it is what it is, and it cannot be refuted ever. We usually don't do these on Saturday, but the day readings, our weekday readings for the Easter season, basically end, with Paul in Rome, awaiting his hearing with Caesar. We do not ever have an account of his martyrdom that is not in Acts. That is not really what Acts is concerned with. Acts is more concerned with trying to make sure that we recognize the fact that Paul never gave up. That even in the chains that Paul will wear in the city of Rome, he still continues to preach to those Jews and others who will listen to the truth that he has to proclaim. Never giving up is something, again, that the Easter season offers us, that the Easter season asks us always to remember, that we are not people who give up, that we are people who persevere, not just endure, that we are people who see that there is light always in this world, even in the midst of great darkness, people who understand God's hand and God's work in all things. That is why in this gospel today, Jesus asks Peter, it's like, do you love me? Again, 3 times Jesus will ask Peter that. In an appearance, we go back to an appearance on the shore of Galilee. And it's interesting that we end there, because it continues also tomorrow. We end with an appearance where basically Jesus asks Peter to recommit himself to believing in him and to helping to further the message. The threefold expression of Peter's love for Jesus simply undoes all the denials. There is no great work that he has to do. I said this already, I think, earlier when we had this reading during the week of Easter. Peter has to undergo no trial. He has to undergo no penance. He has to undergo nothing that has to prove to God or prove to Christ that he is sorry for his sins and contrite and whatever it is. All he has to say is, I love you. And although Peter doesn't realize it, everything has changed because Peter said, I love you. The power of love. recreating our lives, recreating this world, this simple but very difficult, very complex emotion that we as human beings have in our lives is capable of transforming everything. Again, if it is sincere, if it is truly meant, it is from the heart, if it is given with all that we are. To be able to say, I love you, makes the world anew and makes the resurrection something that begins to impact and continues to impact our lives as believers. A continued blessed Easter in these last days, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.